On Amazon US, a new set of AI-managed ads had been running for only a few days. It had already spent dozens of dollars, but had not generated a single order. The seller asked in the group chat, "Should we keep spending?" 4 months later, the same AI advertising program managed by DeepBI had generated more than E1.7 in cumulative sales. The story began in March 2026. The seller was an Amazon business based in Shenzhen, primarily selling phone cases and mobile accessories in the US marketplace. In March, the store generated close to $30,000 in sales. The business was already operating at a meaningful scale, but as the product portfolio expanded, advertising became increasingly difficult to manage. A single phone case listing could include multiple colors and device models. Some SKUs had sufficient inventory and were ready to capture more traffic. Others were newly launched with limited stock, meaning they could run out just as their ads began gaining momentum. The store also carried a higher-priced priority product. Its clicks were more expensive, and its conversion cycle was slower than that of standard phone cases. When the seller adopted DeepBI, the original goal was straightforward: let AI take over part of the repetitive workload and see whether advertising efficiency could be improved further. However, questions emerged almost immediately after the system began operating. On the second day after integration, the seller asked, "Will the new AI-created campaigns compete with our existing manually managed campaigns for traffic?" On March 30th, he followed up again in the group chat. "The new campaigns have already spent dozens of dollars. Why are there still no orders?" For the seller, this was not a theoretical concern. Multiple SKUs were being tested at the same time, and every click without a conversion reduced the store's profit margin. He needed to know whether the money was being used to discover new opportunities or was simply being wasted. The DeepBI team began by evaluating each active product separately. Which SKUs had enough inventory to support continued testing? Which traffic sources had already consumed significant spend? Which search terms and competitor product pages had previously generated orders? Traffic that continued to perform poorly was gradually reduced. Keywords and competitor ASINs that had already produced conversions were retained for further validation. By the end of that week, orders had begun to appear. From March 30th to April 5th, the AI-managed campaigns generated $1,362 in sales from $294.67 in ad spend, resulting in an ACOS of 21.63%. But the story did not end there. As April began, the number of operational challenges actually increased. Some phone case variations were running low on inventory and required advertising limits. Some newly launched products returned to stock and needed to rebuild their traffic. Standard phone cases and higher-priced products had different CPC levels, profit structures, and conversion cycles. They could not be advertised at the same pace or managed with the same strategy. Almost every few days, the seller raised another question. Why is this SKU receiving so few impressions? This keyword has already spent money. Why has it still not converted? Why has the CPC increased again? While adjusting budgets and bids, DeepBI continuously reallocated traffic according to inventory levels and product status. On April 21st, the two teams conducted their first formal performance review. 2 days later, the seller also connected the Canadian marketplace to see whether the same approach could work in another market. By May, the data from the US marketplace began to show a clearer shift. During the week of May 4th to May 10th, AI-generated advertising sales exceeded $2,000 for the first time. Ad spend was $216.65, while ACOS fell to 10.66%. However, the higher-priced priority products still failed to meet expectations. Rather than using the store's overall growth to hide the issue, the team continued investigating. Had the advertising failed to find the right traffic? Was the listing unable to convert the traffic it received? Or was the product itself not competitive enough in the current market? The Canadian marketplace was eventually paused. This was not because the advertising suddenly stopped working. The local business was simply too small for continued investment to be worthwhile. By June, competition ahead of Prime Day began to intensify, causing CPC and ACOC to fluctuate again. By then, however, the seller's questions had changed. He was no longer focused only on why a particular day had produced no orders. Instead, he began asking, which products are worth scaling further? Which products should address inventory or listing issues first? How can we protect profitability when traffic becomes more expensive? As of July 16th, cumulative sales in the US marketplace had reached $146,700, including more than $80,000 in organic sales. AI-managed advertising had generated a cumulative $15,700 in sales. On a monthly basis, the share of organic sales increased from 44% in March to 72% in June. Key ACOS declined from 9% to 5.63%. Not every SKU succeeded. Not every test produced an order immediately. But the original question, why have we spent dozens of dollars without getting an order, eventually received a more complete answer. Through repeated testing, it became increasingly clear which traffic should be retained, which traffic should be reduced, and which products were worth further investment. For this seller, the true impact of AI advertising was not a single bid adjustment on a particular day. It was the fact that the team no longer had to rely solely on intuition when deciding where the next advertising dollar should go. Amazon ads, smarter with AI, optimize your listings, lower ACOS, and boost organic traffic. Follow DeepBI and contact us for a free, tailored optimization plan.